Hi everyone. So I finally switched to Pixel 7a from my S23, and after purchasing this phone, I realized that I made the same mistake I made with Pixel 7, but it's a slightly cheaper mistake. So the first mistake you can make with a Pixel phone is buying it at launch. So there are two problems with buying a Pixel phone at launch. So the first thing is going to be the price, and the second thing is going to be the quality control issue. So let's talk about the price first because I think that's the hot topic right now. See, I don't think this is a overpriced phone. I think this is a good priced phone as compared to the Pixel 6a last year. But the problem is Pixel 7 is sold around the same price, and even Google sometimes offer the same price. And you can buy the same $499 on Amazon or even on Best Buy in US. And in India, the price difference is like 5,000 rupees at best. So it makes it a really hard sell right now because it's not giving you anything better than Pixel 7 in many departments because it's not even lighter phone. It's kind of similar size even though it has a 6.1 inch, and the front look is just outdated in my opinion. The other issue buying a Pixel phone on the launch date is going to be the quality control as well. So my Pixel 4a had that squeaky sound on the back. I had that issue with Pixel 6 and Pixel 6a where there was the display quality issue. There was a huge pink tint on my Pixel 6 and a green tint on my Pixel 6a. The Pixel 7 had kind of similar issue, and in the Pixel 7a I'm not facing that tint issue, but my back panel is not properly aligned, so it's a little bit on the left side, which makes the edges a little bit sharp, which does not make a great experience. And since I purchased this from Flipkart and it's an open box delivery, I can't even replace it because they open it in front of you and they'll show that the phone is working, and on the first glance you might not even notice it. But after using it for a while, I felt like it is a bit sharp on this side, and I asked Flipkart to replace it, but they said they can't do it. So please check your phone thoroughly and try to check every single side that it's not uneven before accepting the order. Now, these are the mistakes you can avoid by purchasing this phone a little later. I mean, you can get it for a cheaper price and there will be much better quality because my Pixel 4a, the second unit, was much better. The same goes with my Pixel 6a. But there is one thing that cannot be fixed with an OTA update or in a later device, and that is going to be the modem issues. So I've been facing the modem issue with Pixel devices, especially with 7 and 7 Pro for such a long time. I've been very vocal about it on social media, and I think there are a lot of people are facing the same issue. So if you are in a tier 2 or tier 3 city, I would not recommend purchasing this phone because you will feel the slow speed issue with on 4G and 5G. You will feel the call drops. Today I was working in a cafe and my internet just stopped working. The signal was full. I was working on something and the internet stopped working altogether. So I would say it's not a huge issue, but on a very first day, it's kind of like a bad experience. And I would not say that this is a very reliable device if you are someone like me who uses their phone as a hotspot and work outside. So that's one issue with the Pixel phone. And the second issue is going to be the Tensor G2. So it was supposed to be a better chipset than G1, but somehow it's not. It still gets really hot. So I was booking a Uber today and it got really hot that I had to leave the device because it was on 5G and there the temperature was 40 degrees Celsius. So that's another issue. If you think that is going to be fixed with Pixel 7a, no, that's not the case. The battery life, it's still average. I mean, you can get around 4 hours of screen on time with 5G on, or you can get around 5 hours with Wi-Fi. But I wouldn't expect more than that because the standby on this phone is not very good. Also, the charging speed is still painfully slow. So they are still carrying that 18 watt from Pixel 6a. I thought it will be 30 watt this time, but that's not the case. So if you are someone that is going to use this phone primarily, this might be an issue for you. I have two phones. I have a cellular watch, so it's not a huge issue for me because even if this phone dies, I have other options. But if this is going to be a primary phone, I mean, this is something that you need to think about. Like I talked about the front, this is an outdated design. This is a 6.1-inch phone, but the bezels make it look a little bit bigger. It's not a very lightweight phone. They have increased the brightness, but it's not very bright outside like any other phone you use in a flagship department. So for the price, the display I would say is okay. It's not great, especially when it comes to flickering with PWM issue. So if you're someone who has those headache issue, this might not be a great display for you. I know so far I just talked about the bad things about this phone, but I think this is not a bad phone itself. I mean, it has bad moments, but the software experience itself makes it worth it somehow. These bad moments are like for once in a while, it can annoy you, but you can still live with them. And also, even if you compare with this S23, it's not as small phone, but it's still relatively small than any other phone out there. So it's still easier to use that phone with one hand. The in-hand feel is really good. It does feel like a premium phone. I mean, you cannot even tell from behind there is a Pixel 7 or Pixel 7a. And even with this plastic back, it does not feel cheap at all from the back. The 90Hz display has enhanced the experience so much, so it does not feel like a mid-range phone in user experience. The face unlock is a welcome feature, but the improved fingerprint is such a relief. And I'm also glad they added the wireless charging. I know it's just 7.5 watt, but if you're someone like me who just charge their phone wirelessly when they're in their car, and if you're using GPS, it does not charge, but it does not like lower the battery percentage. Or if you charge overnight, in that case also the 7.5 watt is going to be just fine for you. So having that feature makes it a much better phone than Pixel 6a at least. But what makes Pixel a Pixel? I mean, it's going to be its cameras, right? So it is not less than a flagship. I mean, on paper, it might not be as great as Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro, but the photos coming out of this phone is going to be one of the best you're going to get from any smartphone, especially because of skin tones. And the dynamic range is also amazing. The video might not be as great as Pixel 7, which was not great as Samsung or Apple devices, but you can still record 4K from the rear and front camera. And in my opinion, which is decent, especially in daytime, in nighttime might not be great. But I will test out the camera a little bit more. And if you want me to compare it with S23, please let me know. So these were my first impression of this phone, which you should not buy right now. At least wait for the price drop and the quality control issues to be fixed. I will test this phone more and will come back with my review. So you can subscribe to my channel if you want to watch that. But nevertheless, thank you for watching my video. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.